Conway Cabal refers to a loosely organized attempt by a group of military officers and members of Congress to remove General George Washington from command of the Continental Army and replace him with Major General Horatio Gates. The supposed leader of this movement was Brigadier General Thomas Conway, an Irish member of the French army who commanded a brigade in Washington's army. Conway was critical of Washington's performance in the Battle of Brandywine and boasted about his own feats at that same engagement. Shortly after Brandywine, Conway wrote Congress requesting a promotion to the rank of Major General. Washington protested Conway's promotion and was irritated by the request, believing it would have disastrous effects on the morale of more senior officers. In October of 1777, Conway wrote a letter to encourage Gates's ambition, arguing that heaven has been determined to save your country, or a weak general and bad counselors would have ruined it. Washington learned of this letter from Lord Stirling, who was informed by a member of his staff. Stirling's colleagues heard the details of the letter from a drunken James Wilkinson, Gates's aide-de-camp. In response, Washington informed Conway that he was aware of the contents of the letter, to which Conway replied that he had never penned the phrase weak general. Conway added that he believed Washington was influenced by men not equal to him in experience. On November 14th, Conway offered his resignation to Congress. However, instead of accepting the resignation, Congress promoted Conway to the newly created position of Inspector General and to the rank of Major General. In addition, a Board of War was created to oversee Washington after some members of Congress, including Samuel Adams, Thomas Mifflin, and Richard Henry Lee, began to question whether Washington could lead the Americans to victory. Conway served with Washington at Valley Forge and reported to the Board of War, which appointed Gates as its president on November 27, 1777. The Board of War was, like all bureaucracies, meant to throw such obstacles and difficulties in Washington's way that he resigns, according to one of Washington's friends. In response to these developments, Washington distanced himself from Conway. Nevertheless, Washington maintained that his personal dislike for Conway never interfered with their professional relationship. Conway later discovered that Wilkinson was responsible for leaking the contents of the letter and subsequently informed Gates of the betrayal. In response, Gates wrote Washington a letter accusing someone of stealing his letters with Conway. While the phrasing was suspicious, and Washington realized that Gates and Conway had been exchanging multiple correspondence because of the use of the word letters. The Conway Cabal was more of a trial balloon, an act of passive aggression that tested Washington's ability to withstand the criticism that went with being the principal personage of the war. The pro-Gates faction collapsed on January 19, 1778, after Gates and Conway refused to hand over the weak general letter to Congress. At the same time, Washington's generals sent Congress letters of support for their superior, and the movement to remove Washington from command ended.